Hi everyone, my name is Adam Quang, and today we have a conversation of happiness. So this is.
I'm Shay Malden.
So who is Shay, and what is Shay? What does it make you happy, Shay?
I thought that was going to be easy to answer because I always thought I was happy all the time, or at least that's the perception. But I spent the last week really thinking on it, and the thing that makes me happiest is helping people, and not to sound cliche, but to serve.
Reward.
No, my mom always said, a life of service is what you should do, right? That brought her the most joy. And oddly enough, the thing that really does bring me the most joy is helping people, not just people, but my family and my friends.
Yeah.
When they call on me and I'm there, man.
They actually scientific study proved that by York University, it's done here in Toronto. They took a group of people and they give you a certain amount of money and say one group they ask you to spend it on yourself, the other group say you spend it on however way you want it or helping other people. The group that actually helping other people after the study, they continue to do it. They actually feel because when you give, you actually get more back in return. And when you give, you get it's not just a sense of like for some people you do feel like a lot of what you call it, like they give for themselves. So meaning when you give to others, like they will expect some kind of
Something in return.
reward in a form of recognition and a form. But a lot of people, but as you continue doing those things kind of like break down, and then you just get that gift of the joy of giving.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that does make a lot of people happy.
And even that isn't all that easy to do either, like to give and expect absolutely nothing
Yes.
in return.
Yeah.
I think I started doing that at a really young age because and I learned that from getting, actually receiving freely, like people giving, and
Unconditional.
exactly, and being very accepting in the moment and humble. I'm not sure if that's the right word, but being thankful and really saying, thank you for doing whatever it is.
Grateful,
Yeah. And wanting to do that for myself and be able to give freely without any thanks or acceptance, and sometimes even privately, really hits home for me. And so it's never to me about somebody else. It's always about just giving and being in the moment, and I think that helps too, being conscious in the moment, here in the now, which again isn't always easy to do, but once you start, it's there. And so, just being happy isn't always that.
No, it's
seemingly,
not a hyper thing. It's more
so
like
much more
contentment, being in the moment, being the present. It's just simply being still and listen. Be still with yourself. I think they always say that like if you're able to be happy with yourself, you can be happy with anybody.
It's so true. It's like inward first.
Yeah.
And then outward.
Talking about giving and happiness, and Shy never tried Vietnamese coffee before. I make a special Vietnamese coffee for her to try it on. In Vietnam, it's a really big coffee culture because there are a lot of people sitting outside, they talk, they communicate, and it basically exchange ideas. Like they are drinking the French 1800 where all the philosophers go to the salon to exchange ideas. So that culture kind of moved toward influence into Vietnam in that way. This is her first time trying this, and we need to get it on camera to see what her reaction is. So it's a little bit it's either warm or cold.
So this one's cold.
This is a little bit warm because it's been outside.
Okay.
So ideally we put ice in them as well, but a little bit chilly for ice today.
I feel like I'm already lacking in the experience.
So go ahead. So this is basically the coffee. It's I'm gonna let her explain how it tastes to her. So here we go.
Thank you. so it's sweet. It was warm, very rich, very smooth. And we're going to do it again.
Okay.
Let's do it again.
Okay.
Something on my head.
The fly. We have a lot of buff in nature.
I love it.
What do you like about it?
It's very rich, like creamy. It's smooth. It's strong. Maybe good on ice too, right?
Yeah.
I'm used to like a latte, which is hot, and this is not. And a latte seems much lighter now that I'm tasting it.
This coffee is a very special type of coffee. Not a lot of people get to enjoy it. And I have been told in Japan they sell it for $300 for a cup of coffee. So it's called the Shivet coffee.
Shivet.
Shivet.
Okay.
It
Not shovel.
wow.
Shivet.
Shivet. So it's a wild cat in the mountain up north. And basically the wild cat eats coffee. And they go through the body system, change the enzyme.
Okay. Great.
And they shove it.
Thank you.
And then you clean it up and then you cook it and ground it. And you got this very rich, flavorful, almost chocolate creamy taste to it. Yeah, so that's why it was expensive, because you have to go through the process of that. So now that you know it,
Yeah. Captured that on film. Didn't you? Killing me.
what
You are.
what goes through your thought now that you have a $300 cup of coffee?
I have a $300.
Yeah.
No. But it's interesting to know that that's how it gets that chocolatey, creamy flavor.
Yeah.
It doesn't change anything.
Yeah.
No, it's just I'm crying. This is what brings him happiness, by the way. Awesome. You are.
So would you
It
try?
wasn't about my happiness at all. It's what I'm learning.
Well, what I always say to people is, at the end of the day, it's all about you, right? It's all about you. Without you, then nothing can happen. So without you, there is no world around you. So you need to learn to be happy to whatever that you're doing. So would you try it again?
I would try it again. I will, and it'll be before this is done. But even in line with what we're talking about, I don't know if you've ever done laughter yoga. Yeah. And part of the thing I remember from doing that, I did it last summer for the first time ever. And part of what Selena, so I can't remember her name, I think that was her. But anyway, part of what she said initially was, you fake it until you make it. So even if you're walking around and you're pretending to smile, eventually you'll be living from that.
Yeah. Because what you do when you smile, or when the fake it to make it, it's like you're practicing your muscle.
Yeah.
Right?
Really?
Yeah.
Or even just being goofy and being okay with being goofy outside in public. Because as an adult, we don't do that. We're very reserved, right?
Yeah.
Children can do it easy. adults, they're a little bit, more aware of their surroundings and what they're doing. But just to be outside and be going, ha ha ha, and oh, 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 and la la la.
Right.
Yeah, no, we don't do that.
Why?
So that
Why
took
not?
a lot. Exactly. Why not? Now I'm
Yeah.
okay with it.
Yeah. Why do you think
Totally.
most people feel not comfortable to be basically enjoying themselves?
To not be taken seriously. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, this person's a goofball, or can't take that one seriously.
So
You lose
You think
that.
people are scared to be
It's a fear.
judged?
It is a fear of judgment,
Yeah.
of course. Well, it's always fear. Period. I think that holds people back.
So it does take
Very.
a lot to like go out the world and just be simple and free.
Yeah.
Because like you have to take on the whole world in that same way. And that I think that's also one of the things that could make you happy, like it's holding us back for fear of judging. But do you think at the end of the day it really matter what other people think?
No, but I've never really kind of lived in that place where I thought at long lengths about how other people perceive me to be. And I know a lot of people live there. I can't do this. What are people thinking? What are people saying? You can't.
Yeah.
Life is way too short. And I think that comes from my dad dying at a very young age. So trying to live my life to the fullest and be in the moment and happy with whatever has been good to me.
What one thing that you do that would make you happy?
That makes me happy.
Yeah.
I absolutely love being at home and with my family.
Okay.
Just in the safety of those walls that I like to call it. Just being there. Or being wherever they are and around them and hearing the laughter and having the conversations and the chaos and, the anger too, all of that. Just being in it.
Be part of a unit.
Of an actual unit is amazing because having to grow up without my dad and not having that, I always wanted it for myself. So living it now is great.
Right. So how would you enhance that experience and for yourself?
That's every day.
Right.
So I'm living that right now.
So
really,
yeah, because like it because a lot of us take things for granted, and I think more specifically we take the people around us for granted, right? So when we take other people for granted, that unit doesn't stay as a unit for very long,
no.
right? So what do you do to keep that unit together or contribute to that unit and enhance that unit to even a greater experience? That's what I mean.
For my husband and I, it's constant growth and development within the unit. It's something that we both wanted. So we both kind of fight for it every day. And so it's communication, not just with us and being open, but with the children. That's constant too. And even in trying to explain things and always doing it from my heart and from his heart, as opposed to being angry and in the moment, saying things off the top of our head. We really try to explain.
So you consciously communicate.
Yeah, it's active and it's daily and you can't stop, and that has kept us going for as long. And it's not that long, but I mean, people that got together in and around the same time we did aren't together anymore.
Yeah.
So it makes me want to do what we're doing more so.
So how did you start being consciously communicate? I think that's also one of the most difficult things for people in general. And then I think it's even harder to constantly communicate with your loved one because there's always that fear of not being accepted, being judged by them, because the people closest to you it can hurt you the most.
It's true.
Right? So we all have that fear.
It's true.
Yeah. So how did you got there, and how did you? Yeah.
I met my husband online, to be honest.
Mm.
And so we let a lot of walls down through that communication.
Right.
Because when you're face to face, your walls are up, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right? So when you're not in that space and you're able to get your thoughts across very clearly and, be very open with this person that's not in the room and not judging and being very open to whatever it is you're saying. That's incredible. And it's something that I really appreciated at the time. And when I met him face to face, that was one of the things I was worried I would lose. And he was as well. It's like, we have this really great friendship. What happens if we meet and now we hate this person, or the walls suddenly go up?
Right.
So immediately it was something I said to him, and it was conversation from the get-go. I was like, what we have, that's the thing I'm worried about. I don't want to have to lose that. And I don't want to have to lose that kind of open communication either. And so we really worked at that, and being able to say how you feel in the moment without that other person judging and being very open to it. I think I'm lucky to have him because he's been great for that. And he doesn't just listen, he acts on. So that's the other part of it, right?
Yeah.
It's that you listen and then you act on it. And so for us, it's constant. And it's just been growing ever since. So, yeah. No, like really, like seriously, that I think that's amazing.
Right.
It's not something you want to let go of.
No, it's something you need to nurture.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's like in any type of relationship, it's so easy. It's very hard to build up that trust, that communication. But it takes very little to destroy that.
It does.
Right? So how do you maintain that balance?
It's not easy, babe.
No. It
really isn't.
Yeah.
And sometimes we have...
Yeah, that's how what that can keep the people happy or go to the opposite direction, become bitter. Yeah. Right?
And luckily we haven't had many of those moments where we honestly have never butted heads or argued or really gotten there, because we talk the shit out of everything, the good and the bad, and we always come to this happy medium. But again, it's from here,
with the heart.
Yeah, and we always say it lovingly. Yeah, we always say it with love, and so I think that makes the difference. And there's no fear there either, because we say some things that 20 years ago, I think we would have both packed up and left, but we're really hearing it differently and appreciating the truth in it.
Yeah.
And again, it's constant being in the now, trusting and loving and wanting the same things.
Yeah.
I think that brings me back always.
Like, what worked for you about the building that trust?
Being honest, actually, just with myself and my partner, like being brutally honest. And that's not easy either, because a lot of times you're fearful of how they're going to react, what they're going to say, how they're going to feel.
Right. So would you say to be able to be where you are, the state of your relationship, you have a life experience. Without that, can you be where you are right now?
No, I think I had to go through that to get here.
Right.
But the good thing about it is now I can speak to my daughter, who's 29, and in a relationship, and 3 years into it. So, these things a lot of it's coming from ego, right? You have to let that go, and it's funny because she can't quite grasp it yet, but it'll come. It'll come, and she'll go back to the conversations, right?
Yeah.
And know for herself that, Mom's right. I don't mean that, but I mean, but a lot of their arguments right now is ego and I. It's that I thing, and
it
once
really
she lets that go,
From what I have learned and what I have understand is most or all of our suffering comes from our ego. The need to be one, the need to feel trust, the need to feel love, the need to be right. But if you really come down to from all that, you don't need to be any of that, right? So, but I think, and really the essence of all that need is the essence of somebody give you a time, the time of their life. Basically, I think that really the bottom line of about being happy. Is like we feel like we need to be valued in the time that person gives us. So whatever it is, love,
That's
time,
really all we
feeling,
have, right?
right?
Is that moment in time.
But I find funny enough, we're going through this period of our history that nobody give each other a time of their life. Everybody's so busy, like you say, on their phone, or preoccupied with social media, all these things. And it's the opposite of what can make you happy or
Exactly.
unhappy. Now you, on the other hand,
What
Miss
about
have no cell phone.
Since 2008, tell them.
That's right. You tell them.
Since 2008.
Now tell me that experience that you decided to just completely go offline on cell phone.
On the cell phone.
Yeah.
I mean, and even back then, it was so intrusive to my life because I had to walk around with it. It was constant texting back then, right? Things, emails, whatever. And for my job, I was working 15, 17-hour days, always on call. And so when I left that, when I left that life in 2008, I was like, that's it. I'm done. I put my phone down. It was a BlackBerry at the time. Okay, not an iPhone. It was a BlackBerry. I put it down and I was like, that's it. I'm done with this and I'm done with that life. And I was done with a whole lot of possessions at the time. And it ended up really kind of cleansing myself and my wardrobe and my life and getting rid of things that didn't bring me any joy at all. And going back to basic. And now, since then, living a very minimalist and happy life, which is different.
So what do you consider minimalist? Because that's a totally different definition to everybody.
Maybe.
Right.
For instance, like we had friends come visit, right, this summer from the States.
Mm.
And they have children just like we do, same age.
Yep.
And the daughter went into my youngest daughter's room and she was like, she came running back down the stairs. She goes, Mom, we have to send, them what did she call it? A care package when we get back. I was like, a care package of what? She goes, well, Tierra only has one stuffed toy. Well, there's a reason why. She only has one because she's destroyed the others or my dogs destroyed them. But at any rate, she felt like because she didn't have 50 of them, which she apparently had, that we were lacking in something. And so it brought me back to that. I was very defensive in the moment, silently. Nothing came out. But no,
Breathe.
not even. But it alerted me
triggered.
again. It does.
Yeah.
We don't need all those things to be happy, and so it was a reminder of that and how people view things. So yeah, we have what we need,
Right.
and we have everything.
It's true.
Yeah, it's just not in abundance.
Well, the thing is, that also a relative term, right? Abundant. Like for me, like like you, I think I went to like 20 some years ago. I went through that period, cleansing everything out, throwing everything out. I would work in crazy hours, 60, 70 hour a week. And from the outside perspective, I think most people say, "Oh my God, he had such an amazing life. He traveling, he did all this like really, glamorous thing."
Of course.
But I mean, I didn't enjoy anything. I literally was a work machine. I traveled from one place to another, and then I was suffering. I would like really like I have a back problem. I have, I can sit properly. I literally go to acupuncture one or twice a week. I go to massage one or twice a week. And people hear this, they say, "Oh my God, you're like so lucky." I said, "I didn't have a choice because I was physically in pain. I don't have a choice but to go to them to hear these things. I'm making a lot of money, but all this money end up
And
paying."
you end up spending a lot of money. Too.
Yeah.
It's different.
So, and then from the outside perspective, people don't see that. They only see, like, I heard a very good quote recently. It's like, you don't get to choose which part of the other person's life you can be jealous on. If you're going to be jealous of somebody, you need to be jealous about everything in their life, right? And I thought that was a really, really
It is. It's deep.
profound thing because I think most of us are very jealous in one form or another. It is a normal thing because we always want more for ourselves. And I think that's also part of the reason. If you don't learn to manage that, that will make you very unhappy. One stuffed toy, for your guest is like, "Oh my God, you're so,
Yeah.
underprivileged." For me, from what I have seen, more than most people have. That's what I mean, right?
It's
Because
perspective.
very perspective. Because like, I see people who
Can't even have the one.
never mind, they can't even afford to like buy food that day, right? So like, what is the minimum list for us? What minimum for like another person? It's very in perspective, and it different with everybody. Everybody have very different thought, every life experience, and that really comes down to what makes us happy is the possession of those things. Like I think like you have a stuffed toy because it's great because you give your kid the joy for that, but she doesn't need like three of them to feel the same thing. She just needs one,
Exactly.
right? So I think that that's not a minimum thing. It's like you actually go beyond what the minimum is already. Right? But in the culture, you find that like as soon as somebody mentioned that, like, that defense coming up, and then that like judgment start to kick in ever so slowly, and that's what you just described.
But it's just it also brings an awareness to me as well because I listen to what people say.
Yeah.
And for instance, my brother visited, and he said, "Oh, you really need a knife sharpener." A what? My knives are dull? I didn't even know. I didn't even know. And he went out like he was so hell bent on getting it. And he went and got it for me, brought it to the house, and so now it's just sitting there.
What do you think that like why do you think that you need to have that?
I don't know. I didn't even know it existed. Or that I needed it. But I mean, it always makes me very aware of what's important to someone else, I guess.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, I was totally clueless on it. Do you have one?
No.
You may need one. I don't know. No, but yeah.
It's relative, I think. And
he's a chef, so I guess it stems from what he needs and what he
yeah. So what he needs every day and what it's also life experience, right? So like I think that like that's what he needs all the time. So that his minimal,
right?
because that would be his minimal less thing.
Right.
But for somebody who doesn't use it all the time, it's like it's a fertile thing.
Yeah.
Right. So
now I've got to dust it and wash it. It's just there, and I want to feel good. Sorry. I love him. He's my fave. I'm gonna drink some just for him.
All right. So
You're awesome.
if what would you tell people from your own experience? Don't think
That's all I
about
can speak to.
like don't don't go into that like blah blah blah. Like come from your heart, from your own experience. What one thing that you can do to make you happier, or something very simple. So, and that other people can actually use that and do them themselves.
I would say tap into your inner child.
Okay.
That place where you were innocent and free
Yeah.
and loving, a sense of innocence. Tap into that, because that's the thing I think I want to hold on to for the rest of my life. That inner scared little girl that lives in me. I tap into her a lot.
Yeah.
And so I think to live from that place with those eyes and that sense of curiosity and really no fear.
So how do you tap that into that?
It's hard. I just
Right.
it really is.
Like, how did you do it yourself?
For me, to be honest with you, Adam, every day that I get up, I rise to shine. And by that I mean I want to be better than I was yesterday. And that's me at my core. I just want to be better at whatever I'm doing today than I was yesterday.
Yeah.
So that's my challenge every day.
Right.
Right? So that means more loving, more giving, more caring, being more in the moment every day. And if everyone could do that, it'll be a better place, damn it. But that's true.
Yeah.
Every day I rise to shine. That's my personal mantra.
How do you keep that energy up? What do you do in the morning? Say, this is what I want to do. You know, I rise to shine. But how do you maintain that, or how you even go about doing that?
It gets heavy. It gets heavy.
Because, like I said, you know, it's easy to say it.
It is.
But like, what are some of the things that you do that people can emanate, like, and do them themselves? So that's what this whole project is about. It's about showing how people can be happy. And I didn't want to have this project about, you know, into talk to people who like well known and like they've done amazing stuff, and like who we don't relate to that. I want people who are fascinating like you, and we know each other for like such a short time, right? Only a few months really since I came back from Asia.
Yes, that's true.
And but you always have this sense, like from what I can see or feel, you have experience of the good and the bad, and that's why you're able to appreciate what is the essence of make you happy. And I think that's what I can sense from you, and you bring that out just by your presence. You emanate that, like you don't take things for granted. I think that's pretty much what I can feel. Like I met a lot of people that take a lot of things every day for granted. You know, like it could be their health, could be their wealth, could be their privilege, could be whatever it is. And like in general, I think we take a lot of things for granted. It's not so much with you, I don't think. And I think that's why you're able to like, you know, be at that state of where you are. Like you're not taking things for granted. And then that's what brings you happiness.
That's not an easy
No.
thing to answer.
No, it's not.
Because every experience, the good and the bad,
Mm-hmm.
and being able to always have a positive outlook
Yep.
on things, and that's because I have had that dark place, and knowing that, you know, to come out of it and be okay and to
And not
breathe,
be bitter.
yeah, and to let it go and not carry it. So I know what all of that. So that's not an easy answer. So it's to take all of that and to have that kind of people around you too, that elevate you to a whole other level, that bring out that positive energy. Because there are some people that can suck that out of you too, and so you have to let them go.
I call those a vampire.
Yeah, so you do really have to let those people go and really hold on to the ones that bring you joy and elevate you to a whole other level. And then you can give that to the people around you. And it's like a ladder. It just keeps lifting you higher and higher. And that's all I do. That's all I do every day.
Yeah.
It's to live in that positive place.
Yeah.
Right?
But the one conclusion is that, and I think this is what I try to live by, and I told most of my students as well, is to live your innocence.
So we almost have the same thing.
Yeah. Don't let life experience make you bitter. Let go of your naive and live your innocence.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause I think naivete is it lack of life experience.
Mm-hmm.
But the innocent in us is I think very important. Yeah, and that I think that could what make us happy. So that's the conclusion of our happy thought and happy conversation today. So live your innocent and let go of your naive, and don't let life experience to make you bitter. And I think that's a great conversation. Thank you, Sai.
You're welcome, sweetie.
So let's toast up to our coffee.
What's in there? I did it.